Imagine a young woman being faced with an unexpected pregnancy. Her future, her body, and her health all hang in the balance. Shouldn't she have the right to choose the course of her life? The choice to become a parent is deeply personal, and every woman deserves the right to make this decision on her own. Today, I'm here to discuss the importance of keeping abortion legal, accessible, and safe. This is about autonomy, the right to make decisions over one's own body. It's about health, protecting women from dangerous practices. It's about society, and its effects of denying women the choice goes far beyond the individual. I argue that abortion should remain a safe, legal option as a fundamental right in today's society. The core of this debate centers around autonomy. This is defined as the right to decide what happens to one's own body. For example, we are allowed to refuse medical treatment such as organ donation. Why we have the right to decide what happens to our bodies in any other situation. So why is abortion any different? A decision that must rest with the person that is most affected by it, which is the pregnant woman. For decades, courts and legislatures have recognized the importance of personal autonomy. In 1973, the Roe v. Wade case was based on the premise that the rights to privacy protected by the U.S. Constitution extends to the decision to have an abortion. To choose to have an abortion, you can choose to have an abortion until the fetus is viable, based on the right of privacy in the 14th Amendment. What is viable, may you ask? This means the ability to live outside the womb, which is typically between 24 and 48 weeks after conception, so it's just seen a law. Roe v. Wade acknowledged the decision to continue and end pregnancy is deeply personal, and the government should not be able to interfere without a compelling reason. Those who oppose abortion argue that the fetus has rights, referring to it as a potential life. However, we must remember that potential and existing life are two very different things. Legally and ethically, individuals' bodily autonomy cannot be overridden by another's potential. For instance, we don't mandate organ donations because that would violate the donor's personal autonomy, even if the other person's life would be at stake. So why would we treat pregnant women any differently? A society that respects autonomy must respect a woman's rights to make decisions about her own reproductive health. Restrictions on abortion effectively diminish a woman's freedom, reduce her autonomy, and undermine her individual rights. The decision whether to continue pregnancy is and should remain her choice. Aside from being a question of personal freedom, access to abortion is a critical matter of health. Restricting legal abortions does not prevent them from happening, but only forces women into unsafe situations. The World Health Organization reports that nearly 25 million unsafe abortions happen every year, resulting in tens of thousands of preventable deaths. When access to legal abortion is restricted, the number of unsafe procedures skyrockets, often with tragic outcomes. Nearly every death or injury that results from unsafe abortions are entirely preventable, says the World Health Organization. Consider the case before Roe v. Wade. Countless women in the United States resorted to back alley abortions, which are performed in unsanitary conditions by unqualified individuals, not to mention using household products to complete these procedures. By criminalizing abortion, we would be reverting to a time when these dangerous procedures were common. Legal abortions, on the other hand, performed by trained professionals, are one of the safest medical procedures out there. According to the National Institutes of Health, a study evaluated 54,911 abortions. They found an overall complication rate of 2.1%. Additionally, carrying unwanted pregnancy to term can have severe consequences on a woman's mental and physical health. The American Medical Association talks about the Turnaway study, which shows women who are denied abortions experience higher levels of anxiety, depression, and stress than those who are able to choose freely. They call it the Turnaway study because a turnaway is what Dr. Eleanor Dray, the medical director of Women's Options Center in San Francisco General Hospital, called patients who were turned away from being able to have an abortion for whatever reason that may be. This study is one of the best on the subject and found that women who are denied abortions experience significant negative long-term effects on their mental and physical health. Some argue that abortion itself poses a risk on women's health. However, modern legal abortions, particularly performed in the first trimester, are shown to have minimal risks. The American College of Gynecologists reported that abortion-related complications are very rare. When done safely, abortion is one of the safest procedures, far safer than childbirth. To give a better visual, a statistic by the National Institute of Health shows that the complication rate of childbirth is 9%. And as I stated previously, the abortion complication rate is around 2.1%. By ensuring abortion remains safe and accessible, we are protecting women's health and saving lives. Restricting abortion would only increase the number of unsafe procedures and place countless women in harm's way. The right to choose is not only essential for the individual, but also has effects on society. Allowing women control over their reproductive system is shown to benefit families, communities, and the economy. According to the National Women's Law Center, women who have access to safe and legal abortions are better able to pursue an education or career, leading to greater financial stability and independence. The economic impact on denying abortion is significant. Research shows that women who are denied abortions are more likely to experience poverty and rely on government assistance than women who have access to safe abortions. For example, the Turnaway study found women who are denied abortions are 4 times more likely to live below the federal poverty line than those who are able to obtain one. Denying abortion access forces women and families into a cycle of poverty, affecting not only them, but their future and existing children. Not only does this cause a personal burden, but a societal one, as it increases demand for social services and health care resources. In addition to the economic impact, restricting abortion can have long-lasting effects on families. Forced parenthood can strain relationships, contribute to family instability, and reduce parents' ability to provide for their existing children. When a woman is unable to make the decision for herself or family, it can have generational repercussions. A society that values strong, healthy families must support the right for individuals to make reproductive choices that best suit their circumstances. Some opponents argue that restricting abortions will reduce the number of procedures and may change social attitudes towards it. However, this has been proven ineffective. Countries where abortion is legal have similar, if not higher, abortion rates than those where it is legal, according to the Council of Foreign Relations. The main difference is in those restrictive countries, abortion is more likely to be unsafe. Legal restrictions don't stop abortions, but only make them unsafe. Maintaining access to safe and legal abortion is essential for not only the well-being and health of the individual, but also for the sustainability and prosperity of society. A society that represents freedom, equality, and individual rights should recognize that women have the right to make this deeply personal decision for themselves. In conclusion, abortion should remain a safe, legal, and accessible option for women everywhere. This isn't only a matter of personal autonomy, but also of health and social well-being. When we respect women's right to choose, we affirm her dignity, her freedom, and her right to make the best decision for her own life and future. Restricting access to abortions would lead us backward to a time when women were forced into dangerous situations or denied basic rights to her bodily autonomy and health. As a society, we must move forward by affirming women's rights, protecting her health, and respecting her personal decisions. So, I urge you to consider the importance of women's right to choose. Let us defend her autonomy, protect her health, and support her freedom. In doing so, we are upholding the principles of justice, equality, and compassion to define a fair and forward-thinking society. Remember, empowering women to make her own choice isn't just about reproductive rights, it's about human rights. you. Do you guys have any questions?
What are the risks?
So, like any medical procedure, there's obviously risks involved. Some of the main ones are heavy bleeding, infection, or there's even failed abortions. But like I said earlier, the risks are very minimal, as there's only like a 2.1% complication rate.
Why do people get abortions?
There's plenty of reasons why people could get abortions. Like there's health concerns because pregnancy is very dangerous. And sometimes the fetus like has abnormalities and won't be able to survive like when it is born. Also, people's financial situations are very different. So if the woman is unable to provide for that child, then they would get an abortion. Or they're just not ready to be a parent. Like some girls are raped and they are like 12 years old and they shouldn't have to be a parent of a child because they're a child themselves. Any other questions?